Claude and I spent 4 days building the wrong thing. Now, this is somewhat of a long story, but I promise there's actually a lesson here. So I'm building this recipe app. When you want to add all of the ingredients of a particular recipe to your grocery list, I categorize them into sections of the grocery store. So like the produce versus meats versus seasoning, etc. And when I first started this particular feature, Claude and I had a conversation, and I believe what happened was Claude went and gathered like the top few hundred ingredients and started categorizing them. And after he was done with that, I started testing, and I realized that there were quite a few ingredients that were just not being categorized. So I'm telling Claude, hey, there are a few ingredients that aren't being categorized. Can we categorize them? And then he finishes, and then I started adding more of my recipes into this app, and a lot of my recipes are Asian. And I started noticing that a lot of these Asian ingredients were not being categorized. So then I'm like, wait, Claude, I think we're just forgetting a lot of international cuisines. Can we make sure that, we're including all of them, the African, Middle Eastern, etc.? And so he did exactly that. He went out, found all of the different international cuisines, found the most popular ingredients, and then again categorized them. And I then again tested it, and I still found ingredients that were not categorized. And so at this point, this is like day 3. This is like our 3rd or 4th time trying. So the next day I go back to Claude and I'm like, if we are to start this particular project from scratch, what would you do? You should have started with a canonical list. And I was like, huh? So Claude ended up pulling a more canonical list from Instacart, which has 50,000 some ingredients, and then categorized them. And then I continue testing, and so far there hasn't been nearly as many misses, if any. Now, the whole point of this particular story is if you are vibe coding and you keep hitting the same wall after fixing the problem and refixing the problem and refixing the problem, like what I was doing, then chances are there is something wrong at the foundation. If you're vibe coding or thinking about vibe coding, follow along, because I will be vibe coding quite a few ideas and documenting them, including my mistakes, so hopefully you don't make them.